So she had kids with like, I think she's got like 5 kids, yeah? So all to different.
4 kids.
She got 4.
Mm-hmm.
4 kids to 4 different men, yeah? And then one of the dads turned up for one of his kids with some McDonald's for his kid. So she went mad on the video and said, how can you turn up with McDonald's just for one child when you know that I've got others here to eat? And then I'm sure it said, where's mine?
She goes, oh, you know, I've got other kids. You know, my food stamps don't come until the 15th.
Nah, she didn't say it quite calm like that. I didn't.
Yeah,
think.
but you know what I mean.
But then I said it all depends on the aggression that's.
Yeah,
like,
she said it quite aggressively.
Coming with it, because if someone's coming like, rah, I'm providing for my kid.
She said it aggressive, but then you see the follow-up video
Which one?
where my man turned back up to the house, but with all the other baby daddies in the car, and they all jumped out and handed the McDonald's to the kids one after another, and I thought that's just a bit stupid. Welcome back. We're at another episode today with Blackdadslives. My name's Anton. Today we're going to be talking about being a stepfather or having stepchildren.
Step parents in general, isn't it?
Yeah, step-parents then.
Yeah. And I'm Don Dada Dash, the Don of all daddies.
It's simply Dad.
Simple Rasta Dad. And, you know who it is. It's your boy, Young Idris. With a suntan still.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Like I said, I think I fully could be a stepdad, you know, to be fair.
I couldn't be a stepdad, no way. I am unable to love something.
You don't have to love them.
But I have to. if I'm gonna.
Joke.
In my head, it depends on the scenario. Okay, for example, say Becky had a ute and we had Autumn. Like it would be obvious, just too obvious.
Why?
Because
She might have been a black man before you.
no, I mean in regards to the love and the attention and the time, you know, and the effort I would place with her ute compared to her ute, you know.
I thought, well, yeah, that's what you're saying. I thought he was meant
with
to
her
look
ute
different.
compared to Autumn, like it would just be different. I couldn't imagine giving. I love Autumn. I think she's perfect, even when she's fucking around with remotes and shit. Like she's still perfect. 'Cause it's mine. Do you know what I mean? It's my flesh and blood. Like, if they say, for example, God forbid, me and Becky split. I mean, the chances are, I'm 34 now. The chances are the woman I get with next is gonna have a ute in it. Now, that ute, no matter what, won't compare to Autumn. I know it wouldn't work. For me.
No, but it
What
just
if the ute was
depends,
young?
because if you then had a ute with that person, then obviously, because it's your flesh and blood,
Yeah.
you still feel the same love as you did for.
Yeah, but I'm saying in regards to
but
that.
if you've got with her and she's got a kid already. Yeah, it may be hard for you because they've been brought up in like a different. But to me, just depends on
The age?
the age of the child.
Yeah.
B, it depends on how that child is, because that child could be so helpful for you with Autumn
Yeah, fair
and
point.
do that stuff like that. So you can learn to love people in reality. You may not want to, you may not think it sounds like ideal, but
Well, how many kids then? So say your next woman's got. For me, if I'm going to do it, and what you said, I get what you're saying, 100%. Yeah, my limit's 1 kid. If you got 4 or 5 more fucking.
yeah. It'll be difficult, but
Well, everything
regardless,
comes again, yeah.
it's hard to be with someone with kids. In
Yeah,
reality,
yeah, no,
'cause
it is.
What you have to realise is someone's got kids already. That is their priority, and that should be their
100%.
priority.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Before anyone else, like your child comes
But boom,
first.
if I was single and then I met someone who had like 5 children, or
It's gonna
someone
be
came up to
difficult.
me, I can't lie, that would probably be a game changer.
That put me off, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
It'll be
yeah.
difficult
No, it's
because
impossible.
in reality, how have you got time to be finding another man when you got
5
like
kids?
5 kids?
Five
I'm not
kids
saying
to
you
4
should.
different men.
I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to find love and whatnot.
Yeah, but behave yourself, take
it's just
time.
in terms of kids. Like when you start having like 2, 3, 4 kids, like in reality, when you start pushing like down them routes,
Yeah, it's
how much
too
time
much.
do you actually have for
It's too
your
much,
kids
it's
in
too much,
reality?
it's too much.
true.
Do you know what? And this is what's mad. This I don't even know where you met this woman because how are you out?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Why are
But it
you
just
out?
depends on the
Tinder,
age
bro.
of the kids.
On Tinder.
It depends on the
Oh,
age
right,
of the
if
kid,
it's
though.
Tinder.
Both
yeah.
swiped, bro.
I both swiped at home.
Yeah, both swiped. Bro.
But like I said, it depends on the age
looking
because
for the
her kids could be grown in reality. It could be like 16,
again,
17
that's
again.
different.
They're big kids.
That's different. But if you've got 5 that's running about,
Yeah, nah, but even if you like me with my one, I'm just like, right.
that's what I'm saying.
That's enough for me. Do you know
No,
what I
but
mean?
for
Never
me,
mind taking on someone else's.
I suppose then, yeah.
And then, sorry to interrupt, it depends. That child, say for example, you was with someone, no, they were with someone, and that person's then passed, and they have a child in that relationship. Then, in reality, more than likely, you're gonna take that on because it just depends on the involvement of the baby father as well, innit?
Well,
That again
sorry.
plays an impact.
That's a massive thing that you just said. So to me, it would the relationship that the baby father had with the mum and with his youth would be unbelievably important. Because in my head, if I was going to get with somebody who had a child previously, right, I do not want to be this youth's father, right? I don't think I don't want to get into a situation where he's got a deadbeat or this baby's got a deadbeat father. Do you know what I mean? Like,
People can make mistakes.
But I was
so-
gonna
That's
say,
true, that's true, that's true.
See, they have got a deadbeat dad though.
Then I've got to do too much. I don't want.
Because
to
he
get the
he
drama.
already doesn't even want to take it on
I know,
anyway.
I feel
so
like
that's different.
I
innit?
feel it's different because I just feel like it's probably not that child's situation. So, like I said, I think it depends on the ages. If they're that young, where you can influence them and they respect you, then I think you're gonna be more willing to take on that child.
Yeah.
I think if the kid was a bit older and they had attitude, do you get me? And they wanted to at you, then it's more like, nah, we'll bun this kid. Why? Do you know what I mean? Like, sort your kids out.
I just can't match the drama, bro. If there's no drama, I'm cool, bro.
No, it's difficult because obviously if you were then to get with a woman, then you'd be expecting like the woman to take on your child, innit? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
not take on your child,
Accept.
but accept your child,
Yeah,
innit?
yeah.
So that's why as men you have to be willing
That's
to
the thing,
accept
though,
that,
so
innit? And to me, even if say you were previously in a relationship, you all still have to come together and work in order for the benefit of your child, regardless.
Yeah, that's
If I
the
was
thing.
to get with anyone, and do you know what I mean? Then everyone would have to work together.
Yeah, 100%.
If you know what I mean,
But I
to
get it,
benefit
like,
my kid.
For me, for example, say I did get with somebody else, and it would be, you need to accept Autumn, 100%. But you're not Autumn's mum; she's got a mum.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so then so you'd say in the same breath, I'd accept your child, but I'm not the dad because I got a dad.
But then again, if that dad's not stepping up, or that
Yeah.
dad has made a mistake or whatever, and he's not doesn't want any part of this youth's life,
Then you're more
I
inclined
have
to.
do you know what I mean? Because that's a child at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
fair.
the
It's not
child's
fair.
innocent, that's what I was just trying to say, but
So
then
I'd have to
obviously-
step up, but I don't want to.
When they come with the attitude
Really?
and
I
that,
don't want to. That can't be hard.
that's what I said with your own kid. It's a lot already, never mind someone else's.
Yeah.
But like I said, prior to obviously having a child, I thought, nah, I don't think I could like take on someone who did have a child.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think I'm probably immature, but I thought until I had the child of my own, then wasn't willing to take on anyone else's child in reality.
So my question then is, as I said to you before, previous in regards to doing what I do for Autumn compared to doing something for another person's child. So for example, say you did get with the mother when the baby was young, and like, how involved do you get then as a stepdad, so to speak? Like, were you getting up at midnight to change?
Yeah, you have to. If you're choosing to be with that woman, you're choosing everything that comes with her.
Then you got to be a part of that life, innit?
Okay, cool. In that case, I'll see you in 3 years, darling, once it's grown and can fucking have its own ass.
Yeah, but then that's what I'm saying. If you went through that before you be,
It's all about timing.
All about time.
That's what I said.
The universe is saying not right now, yeah?
because if you've been through that and it's not your kid, then imagine what you can do when it is your kid.
True.
You still be scared, innit?
I lose patience with Autumn, yeah? Like, when she's not sleeping very well, I lose patience, you get me, right? So, for example, if she's waking up in the middle of the night, right, and she's not going back to sleep, and she's fed and she's got a dry nappy or whatever, and I'm sat there for hours, like, waiting for her to go back to sleep, at times, I'm like, I could just leave you now to cry for the rest of your life.
The rest of your life.
The rest of your life, just cry, right? Obviously, I don't. I'm saying for another for a kid that's not mine, and my patience is. I'm reaching that point where I say you're gonna look after you.
So what about if the child was older, so they're not at that age where they're gonna just cry and wake up during the night?
I think it'll be easier for me.
Yeah, it would be, and they're self-sufficient. Then
No, it
you'll
just
probably
depends though, because I'm saying obviously if they're young, and you can have that influence, they've got more likely to adapt to what your standards are.
Yeah, correct.
Whereas if they're old and you come into their house,
You ain't my
and
dad.
you all of a sudden start like stipulating things like, right, who's this guy? And
Hey, can you imagine that Anton?
coming in like drinking my juice. My Capri Suns and
Anton walks into a big 16-year-old house
what I
talking
mean.
about, yo, here's the iPhone, yeah, turn on Find My Friends.
Do you know what I mean?
But you know what? Do you know what? If it was a big 16-year-old,
Uh,
then that's not my business.
Yeah, but it is because if they're still living in the same household
hard.
as you.
But the discipline side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
The
hard.
discipline. It's
It
not
But
my
then what do you
Though,
do?
it is
What
not
do you
my
do?
business.
What do you do?
I'm saying it
You're
is.
inside the house, yeah. You and your missus in there,
Yeah.
For your
and the
opinion.
kid is disrespecting.
My missus.
Yeah.
Yeah, then what I would say you shouldn't talk to your mum like that.
You go, shut the fuck up.
No,
That's
no,
what I mean.
no, listen.
Shut up, baldy.
Yeah. So I'll tell him now, yeah.
You're fighting.
Nah, so I'll
You
tell
have to
him.
fight.
I'll say you shouldn't be talking to your mum like that.
Shut
You get me? I can't imagine that any 16-year-old would turn around to me and go, "Shut the fuck up, baldy."
100% I can.
Yeah,
I can.
I
It's youths
can't.
nowadays,
I can't.
bro.
Nah,
never
because
know.
I've been around like 16-year-olds. Because one of my friends is going through a similar thing now, and it will be
A rank little 16-year-old.
in a sorry.
A rank little 16-year-old. Maybe not the baldy part, but there's definitely the shut up.
Yeah. So they could definitely say, "Shut up, you're not my dad," and I'll
Yeah.
go, "I'm not trying to be your dad, but you shouldn't speak to your mum like that." Do you get me? And it's more sending that message across to say, well, yeah, you shouldn't speak to people like that because it's disrespectful. It's your mum. She brought you into the world. You get me? And then what I will then do is pull aside my missus, whoever that is, and say to her, how are you letting your kid talk to you like this? Like, that's not right. You get me? If imagine if he's gonna talk to you like this in this house, how is he gonna speak to people out on the street? So what you need to do is nip it in the bud, and you need to sort
It's
it
too
out.
late. 16.
It's too late.
But this is what my point is. So at that point, what am I gonna do as someone, as an outsider, to influence this child's behaviour?
Yeah, but
Nothing. I can't do that.
The mum knows, yeah.
Hey?
Opt out.
No, but you can't. Do you know what I mean? So realistically, I'm not gonna start fighting some 16-year-old. So I'm just gonna have to say to the mum, boom. As long as they don't talk to me like that, you deal with yours. As long as they don't interact with my kids like that, then you deal with it.
Bro. You can't sit there and watch it because
what can you do? I'll be frustrated. It'll be frustrating.
What if they do speak to your kids like that?
Then that's when I'll get involved, and I'll shoot them down. I'll treat them and I'll talk to them the exact same way that I spoke to my kids.
At some point, it's just easier just to just separate and leave in it because realistically, what's gonna happen is right. This little bad breed 16-year-old, first and foremost, talks to his mum bad because he's got away with it and he knows there's no consequences.
Exactly.
He won't necessarily go out on road and talk to a man like that. He get a punch in his face, right?
Those consequences probably happen to him outside.
There you go. Exactly. It's different. So he comes in home and he gets away with it. Whatever. Right. This woman who you're with, let's call her, I don't know, Phyllis. Right. Phyllis knows that Eric. Call back. Phyllis knows that Eric is bad breed, innit, yeah? And he needs a strong, positive role model in his life, innit?
But Phyllis doesn't want you to tell Eric off because Eric's dad tells him off.
But Eric's dad
is useless, yeah, I know.
Okay, cool. So at some point, bro, you're gonna you have to make the decision, okay?
That I'm gonna be Eric's role model or not.
Yes. Is Phyllis's pum worth it?
Oh, so so I'm going off Phyllis's pum, not his behaviour. So no, serious. So you would just you've fallen for Phyllis, yeah?
I would never get with a girl called Phyllis in the first place, bro.
You've fallen for Phyllis, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've fallen for Phyllis. Like you're madly in love, like you're head over heels for Phyllis.
Yeah.
But only one dampener that's on your relationship, is Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then. But Eric's got a dad, by the way. But Eric's dad's just shit. So anyway, Eric speaks to Phyllis with attitude.
Yeah.
You don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You try and address it.
Yeah.
But Eric needs a positive role model.
Yeah.
So now, because you don't want to be that role model, because you can't handle drama, you're fucking off Phyllis.
I can't. That's what I'm saying. I can't. At that point, if I'm in love with Phyllis,
Yeah.
and Phyllis is the perfect woman for
That's
me.
what I'm
Yo, you
saying.
have to have a word to the
then
dad, man.
I have no option or no choice but to get involved, and I don't want to get
So,
involved.
yeah, and do what though?
Talk to the dad. Listen. Your son is bad breed, yeah. You
Yeah.
need to sit down and talk
But then
to
that's
your
what
Nah,
I'm
my
saying.
son's
But he's
fine.
not gonna listen to
Okay,
you.
cool. Then you, because your son isn't fine. I'm seeing
But
this.
then-
Little,
but
I'm
then-
seeing this little youth every day disrespect his mother. Okay, and that's not okay.
But what happened if the dad was disrespecting the mum, and that's where he saw
Okay,
it
cool.
from?
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say, that's
you
where the
no longer need to
disrespect
come
is coming.
around. Okay, you can see Eric
Take your
outside the
son,
house.
take your
Nah,
kid.
but
You can
if
see-
that
you
already
can-
happens though, so Eric don't come. So Eric's dad don't come to the house.
Okay, so
Eric
Eric-
goes to his dad's house.
Okay, so Eric will no longer see his mom be disrespected
Nah,
by
the
his
dad
father.
disrespects
Yeah.
in the background.
Okay, so them two go to his yard, go and live in his little shit tip, yeah. Okay.
And you know Phyllis wants to give up the kid.
No. I mean, when he's seen his father, his dad has no need to come to the house and interact with his mum if he's going to disrespect her.
Well,
No, but I'm talking about when they was previously in a
But
relationship.
you-
So
you've
it doesn't
got to
now
make it
because
work, man.
Phyllis
You
is
have
with
to-
you
you gotta make
now.
it
Because
work.
Phyllis is with you now. So Eric's dad ain't gonna come in your house and start disrespecting Phyllis in front of you because you don't want to get tump up in it. So
What happens if Eric's dad could
So
knock me
it was,
out?
so it was. So I'm talking previous.
I'm
like,
I'm
do
sure
you like
Eric's
when?
dad.
Do you like when kids like they say it? Like when kids have been abused when they're growing up, yeah, that they're more than likely to abuse when they get older because it's like a trend in it.
there's-
So
cycle.
so if it's like that cycle in it. So obviously, if Eric's been seeing his mum get abused physically or verbally,
Yeah.
and then he's then carrying that verbal abuse on
That's what I'm saying.
because that's what he's seen in the past. His dad might not necessarily be doing it now, and they've split up.
That's it.
He just goes to his dad's house. His dad's a weekend dad, yeah. Eric just goes there. But when Eric comes home, Eric's still a little shit
Yeah, but
to Phyllis.
so I mean, we then as good, strong, honourable men have no option but to get involved.
In what way? How are you getting involved?
You've got to try. You have to try. and
By
do
doing what?
something. I don't know what you got to do, bro.
Right, that's
But you
what
have,
I'm saying.
reality,
you have to do something. You
you'll
can't
be able
sit there
to-
and let it go on, can you?
you'll be able to like have a
Man-to-man
chat,
talk,
like,
innit?
in reality with the
Yeah.
son or not. Like you may not get along or whatever, but with all people, there is always a way in.
Yeah.
But if there's just because
There's always a way in. Like regardless of, someone always has. It's a way in or
There's a
weakness.
way
But if
or
someone was so
way in.
nah,
of,
and
like,
I'm
getting
just
into
I,
someone.
I know it sounds like I'm just being a dick, but
No,
I'm repeating it
you
because
are a dick.
yeah. I'm repeating it because if there was someone watching it who's actually going through that situation now and they're thinking, boom, how can I actually break down those barriers?
Yeah.
with my
Difficult.
girlfriend's son, difficult son,
Mm-hmm.
who's been a little shit or has been a little shit, or even daughter. You get me?
There's
Because you
always
get it from a
something that
daughter.
they do,
Yeah,
right?
Then-
Find a common ground.
So that's what you'll do. So it's
you have
finding
to.
common ground.
I don't know what you have to do, right? But if there is someone going through that, you have to do something, even anything. Try everything. Like literally, go out. Not working. Okay, cool. We try man-to-man talk. Not working. Go cinema. I don't care. And you know what I mean. You gotta try, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Even if it's not you have to find someone.
Yeah,
who
man.
can
Like go and watch these little
potentially
basketball games.
relate to.
Yeah,
if you know
man.
he's got any
Like
friends,
go
then-
and try and play Fortnite with him or something. I don't know. Whatever he does, just try. As Dash said, relate to man. You get me? But you've got to
I said
try
even if
something.
it's not through you, you
Yeah.
have to do it through someone else, innit?
You've
You
got
know
to try
they've got a
something.
friend, okay, this friend, okay.
But I can get on with that. I can relate to that friend
you
and you
can
can go
relate,
through
because
them.
obviously it's not the whole gang in theory.
Or
that
even
you'll
if
be
it's
able to
even if
relate
it's
to.
one of your friends or one of your friends comes round and you see that they get
Yeah,
on,
talk
then you
to
think,
him.
you know what, boom,
He doesn't like me because I'm with his mum,
but he might
doesn't mind
listen
you
to my friend.
because-
Yeah.
You get me?
100%.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Try something, bro.
Yeah.
So what if it was the other way around though? So say, all right, not you man them being step dads in terms of
Well, stepmom comes in.
so you
So our kids.
We've got
Yeah, so
our
you're-
kids
you're-
have got stepdad, but
yeah.
then that's what I'm saying about our community.
Well, our kids having a stepdad.
Yeah.
So we split up with the mums and then
Yeah,
they
yeah.
get with someone else.
Yeah. But then I'm just like,
But then that's not their stepdad.
yeah, well, in theory it is because
Nah,
that's
it's
who
not,
they're
still.
living with, innit?
No, that's just their mum's boyfriend.
No, if they're living,
Nah, I'm active.
If the mum,
Yeah, I'm saying, you'd be active. We'd all be active.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
so they're not stepdad.
I'm saying if the mum then gets married to that person, that will be their stepdad, innit?
Nah, that's my mum's husband. That's your mum's husband.
Yeah,
That
but
ain't your dad.
it's still
You've got
step-
one dad.
Yeah,
no,
but your dad, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you are
saying
dad, you'll always be
innit?
dad, but it's
there's a
stepdad.
difference between stepdad and dad, innit? Like that's.
Yeah. For me, it's just dad, innit?
But like I say, like I heard someone state that obviously, as long as you, as a man, are doing what you're supposed to be doing, you got no reason to worry about any other guy. No guy can take your place if you are dad. Do you get me?
Oh, nah, that's what I'm saying. I ain't got my place. Yo, if I split up with my missus and then she got with someone else, do your thing, innit?
Mm-hmm.
But wow, how is that gonna? What? Don't you get me?
What?
No, you say nothing.
You
see the fucking thing, bro.
He had a whole conversation in a split second. We missed it. We missed it.
Right.
My glitch, you know. My glitch, you know.
Nah, so check. Now, yeah. Nah, so check. She meets a John, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kids come home and told me, oh, mum's got a new boyfriend called John. Sweet. Get me? 2 years later, mum and John's getting married. Sweet. You get me? They're not going to come back to me and be like, oh, mum, I'm a stepdad.
No.
They won't say that. They'll just say mum and John.
Yeah, they will say that. They'll never call him dad.
That's what I'm saying,
He
John.
will be their stepdad.
Yeah.
All right, okay. If he wants to hold
So
back.
if someone says to them, oh,
Who's that?
who's that? Oh,
John,
it's
my
step-
mum's husband.
They're saying stepdad.
Yeah, that's
bro.
because that be who you're. But then, what is your mum's?
Laura will say that
husband's
now
stepdad,
about her
innit?
dad's wife. Her dad's passed away. Her dad passed away in the end of the year.
Yeah, but
in
how
last
long-
year.
yeah, how old is she?
Laura.
Yeah.
Grown.
So there you go. So I'm saying, if
But
now,
she wasn't. Yeah, but she wasn't grown when they got together.
Okay, yeah.
She was a
okay,
teenager.
Okay.
So she was like what we was just talking about. Then she was the teenager.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
get
but
me?
it just depends on what.
The relationship is.
Yeah, yeah. And she just not accepted that.
God forbid, bro. Yeah. But say Laura and you break up, right? And they go and she finds a wonderful guy. God forbid. I'm saying worst case scenario. God forbid. Right?
Well, I don't if we God forbid that she finds a wonderful
guy.
guy. That's not a bad thing. But
She
anyway.
finds a wonderful guy who the Tyler and Lena absolutely adore.
Well, that's
Yeah, that's
what
what I
you
want.
hope for.
That's what I want.
If
Yeah, okay,
anything.
cool. So that in that case, then they're gonna refer to him as stepdad because they love him. They're not gonna refer to him as mum's husband, are they?
There's probably still call him John in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
But
But
the title-
Yeah, but he
title-
would. Yeah, he
title
would
will
be.
be stepdad.
He would be their step. Yeah, no,
Yes.
I grasp that
Yeah.
he would be their stepdad. But that's what my point is. I think for me then part of it was I was feeling like that because that's what they called
He was
it.
in your feelings, innit?
You were in your feelings.
That's what I'm just
You
saying.
were in your feelings.
Guys,
bro.
guys,
Nah. That's Laura's boyfriend, bro.
But it is.
Did you know what I'm saying? You get me?
You get me?
You get me?
I feel like it's a reference point for different people. For you, your reference would be that's John.
Yeah.
Whereas, if, say, for instance, the child was probably thinking of it from their perspective and someone on the mum side was probably asking them a question, then they might say, oh, my stepdad. I think it's context and depending on who you're speaking to. Maybe
Whereas
the way
on
they'd
your
say it.
side, they're probably like, oh yeah, it's John, my mum's husband,
it's
isn't it?
stepdad.
Like you say, dad's not getting mentioned in that
who's that,
sentence.
John? Yeah,
Who's
who's John?
John. John's John, innit?
Yeah.
John, so everyone knows John.
Mum's John.
So back to Jason's point before about like sometimes you have to intervene if you are the stepdad, if you are living with a woman who's got kids previously. What if your children are living with another man and you're the half, your ex of the half, and they're acting unruly? Would you expect this next man to intervene?
And what that discipline my children.
Discipline your you.
Nah, this is what I'm trying to
We're
say.
active though in
I'm
our
trying
kids'
to
lives.
say,
You know what I'm
say,
saying?
if a next man tried to discipline my kids, it depends in what manner. Because,
And what
you know,
they've done.
it depends in what manner. I wouldn't
what they've
expect
done.
them to beat my kids, because if they beat my kids, I'm fucking them up. That's just the reality of it. Discipline in terms of telling them off when they've done something wrong, if it's deserved, then yeah. Like, you know right and wrong. If you've done something wrong, then
You just
yeah.
get told.
Why? Just imagine whoever it is looking after the kids at that time. The mum may not necessarily be there, and they've done something bad in that moment of time.
Then they can't get in trouble for it.
What, they're
Do you know
not
what I
going to
mean?
get in
wait.
trouble. You got to
Yeah,
wait till
yeah,
your mum's
yeah.
come back, and then what? Your mum's
Wait
going
for
to
it
come
to
and
pass
tell
you
me,
the
and then
message,
what?
yeah.
Then it's too late.
Yeah. The moment's passed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
moment's
yeah.
passed. So that's what I'm trying to say. When it comes to step parents, everyone has to work together.
I agree with that.
As much as people don't want it to, depending on how the relationship has ended, in reality, if you want the best for your children, you have to work together.
So, I get then about the beating and the telling off. But what about if they're screamed in the face?
Why are you screaming in his face? I'll say, why are you... But at the same time, I can understand at a moment in time you can lose your temper.
Yeah.
So that can happen, but I'll be like, nah, control yourself, because I wouldn't expect my kid to be screaming in someone else's face. And if you're doing that,
Then you're
setting
showing
that
the
example,
example,
and
yeah.
I don't want that to be an example for my child.
So, for example, when you come to disciplining Sereno now, do you beat him?
No?
Do you shout him?
Sometimes, yeah. And I apologise when I do, you know.
Once you calm down?
You're going to calm down. I say, well, I'm sorry for shouting at you, but this is the reason why, innit? Like, it don't mean my actions were right, but I can acknowledge, like, I shouldn't have screamed at you.
So, for example, say when he's in school, right, and he's older, and he's... So, we all know our kids are going to do some shit that's going to really piss us off. Or it's gonna
Does it now, innit?
Yeah, but when they're older or whatever, it's going to be different, innit? Like,
Different level.
how do you think you'll discipline him then? Like, will you...
I don't know, obviously. I'm just like, I'm going with what I feel is right at this moment of time.
Will you ever beat him?
It's hard to say. Would I ever beat him? Because I probably
It's gonna
would.
do this so you can imagine-
I'm not against like
Yeah.
beating him, but
Yeah.
in reality, I'm like I don't have to at this moment of time. So I wouldn't expect to, if you know what I mean. If things continue the way they are at set times, it's like right, you do need a beating. But like I said, I don't want it to be a situation where he feels like it's okay to hit someone because they haven't done something what you don't feel is right. And if that's what I'm doing, I'm hitting him because I don't think something's right. Then do you know what I mean? I'm just setting that steeple for him, and I won't want to necessarily do that.
But do you know what's mad? Because how much times have changed just from me having my kids there at the same age to you.
Yeah.
Nah, Tyler just got beat, innit?
I
It's true.
hear that. Yeah. Most, like I said, I know most people
He
still
got
probably
beat.
still do
So,
get beat.
And when I say beat, because I just need to break it down, because when I
As
said beat
always.
last time, I was watching this and was like, when you say beat, it sounds like you abuse the kids. I don't abuse them, it was simple things, like obviously when the babies and the toddlers and they start to move around, like back then I had Blu-rays out, that's my PlayStation. So Laura was like, oh, you need to move all your Blu-rays. I was like, why? She goes, oh, because Tyler's gonna get to him. Yeah, we'll get to him once. You get me? And as soon as I went over to him, I just literally, it was on his hand. That's that's naughty. Don't do that. Dad is. And he just looked at me and went, touch it again. Just taps on. Naughty. Don't do that. Dad is. So he just looked at them and he just got off.
But the funny thing is, you say that now, I've flipped him. I know now if he's done something, I've flipped him. So now he'll come up and try and flip me, and it's like obviously I can't even feel nothing. I just see. I'm like, what are you doing? And I realise he's coming up to me trying to flick me. So obviously, like I said, if I'm setting like example, like, oh, you done something, I'll flick you in the back of your head, innit? Don't do that. And then he'll try and start flicking me.
Yeah, but but Tyler's never tried to come back and slap me.
Yeah, but then that's what I'm trying to say. Imagine if I start beating him in 2 twos, he's just there
He's gonna
trying
start
to
beating you.
bust me up in there. I don't want that to happen. I probably won't feel nothing, innit? But still.
So here's my question then to you three as when you were young men, teenagers, did any of you ever have a fight with your dad?
No.
Used to?
No.
Probably.
Not actual
fight,
physical
obviously.
fist fight, but I'm talking about, you know, when you reach that age
Grapple
now,
as well,
yeah?
so-
Yeah, grapple.
Where you reach that age now, yeah, where basically as a young, for a metaphor, young Simba taking on Mufasa.
I probably have, when you get to a certain age, it's just only natural to defend yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like punching back, but in terms of like blocking
Trying
and
to
stuff,
block
innit?
and
Do you know what I
defend,
mean?
Yeah, but that's different now, because that's different to from what I'm asking for. What I
I don't anticipate any of you man have really gone and had fucking fisticuffs with your fathers.
No.
But even just to argue back, like
They're arguing back.
it's mad. Like so,
No, I would say I have argued back and stuff like that.
and that's different. So I've argued back with my dad. But that's my
testosterone, you
point.
get me?
No, but it's more on a point in it. So if my dad's telling me
Challenging,
something and I'm challenging him because I'm like, that's not how it happened.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how it happened. Because what it is, I was a black sheep in my family. So if something happened in the house and it went wrong, it was normally my fault. So I'll get blamed and I'll be accused and be guilty before anyone else even had a trial. You get me? And I'll be like, why is it always me? So my dad would just assume it was me and this is how it happened. So he would tell me the story, what he's made up in his head. And I'll have to go, no, that didn't happen.
But was this out of self-defense or were you angry?
It was anger. It's probably both because I'm defending myself. But I'm angry because I'm having to defend myself, innit?
More time you won't take your anger to your parents, innit?
Yeah, I want.
Your
Yeah,
parents don't
yeah.
like do something wrong, even though that they do in theory do
Yeah.
wrong things, but you won't think, oh, I'm gonna go beat him like you beat your kids, innit?
I only remember one time I actually sort of stepped towards my dad, you know, once. and I wouldn't even step into him like that. But it's because, you know, when you're having them discussions and it was getting a bit heated, and he was stood away from me, and I went, no, like, arms out. Why? My dad just come back to me and goes, what? You want to fight? You want to go outside or something? Where you going to? Come back in my face again. Come back in my face again. And then, do you know what I mean? I just totally forgot about what I was even arguing about. And I remember I just started shitting myself. And I'm thinking, wow, I want to fight you. He's like, you want to fight me? Do you want to fight me? And I'm going, no. And he goes, so why are you stepping towards me like you want to fight me? I was like, I don't know.
Sorry, Dad.
Scared. I was, sorry, Dad.
But then what if the stepdad, has now done that to your kid?
What steps? What?
Tyler stepped to him, he stepped back.
Yeah.
Nah, well, again, Tyler, why are you stepping to somebody? Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Like, why have you stepped to him in the first place?
Well, then again, though, here's my problem with that, though, is because, for example, you weren't stepping to your dad at that point. Your dad took it as you were stepping to him. Same thing. I didn't step, Dad. I stepped.
All right, but then I'll have to tell my man he didn't step to you.
Yeah,
my man said, nah, listen, look, he stepped.
I seen it.
Yeah, but you know what? All bets are but it's true though. All bets are off, and I'm listening to my son.
Okay.
Especially me knowing Tyler, as I know Tyler, he ain't gonna lie to me.
What if your kid was?
If it was Layla, then it'll be questionable. I can't even lie.
Sorry, Layla.
Yeah, no, because Layla, is all about Layla's about that life, innit? Yeah, Layla will be like, what? Yeah. What? I'm gonna get my dad. that would be Layla. Yeah. That would be Layla. So it's knowing your kids' personalities as well, innit? Yeah. So like I know my children. So if it was Tyler, then 100%. No matter what, I'm backing him. What's coming out of his mouth. If it's Layla, I've got to analyse the situation, and I'll listen and I'll say, so tell me what happened, and then judging from what she's saying.
Don't you feel like you should do that in all situations? Be able to like analyse before acting. But as you touched on before, it's with humans. Emotion takes over in it, and so does anger sometimes. You know what I mean? So obviously, I've been in a situation before with Tyler when he's been in school and something's happened, and I've just seen red straight away, and I'll just go to the parents and be like, "Why just?" Do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, I hear that actually it didn't really happen like that. Do you know what I mean? I won't necessarily go back and apologise, but I would say I heard it happen a different way. Yeah. Hold that in it.
Done.
That makes sense.
But yeah, being a stepdad's gonna be too much pressure. I don't even know how Aaron started this. That's a long one, you know.
Aaron, could you be a stepdad? Here, go and turn your little microphone on.
Yeah, turn your mic up.
If I could be a stepdad, I think because I had a stepdad and he was a positive influence on my life.
There you go.
I could do.
Yeah.
I wasn't easy for him. I was hard work.
He was too fast and he couldn't catch you.
Fastest man in Manchester.
Apparently so. But it's definitely not true.
Nah, sorry, bro. Go on.
But yeah, so like I was hard work, and I remember the reason why I was hard work, and it's because I watched The Parent Trap. Ever seen the film The Parent Trap?
Yeah.
So rather than taking the note of the film, which is give people a chance, I took it as you run a man out your household if it comes to your mum. So I tried for a long time to run a man out my household, and then I got into a weird cycle of realising that, or thinking that I didn't like him, but he was a very nice person.
Yeah.
I didn't realise till the very end, because he's passed away now, how little I did for that man. Yeah. But I know other people who are step parents, and I think
it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you can, I think it's a special kind of person to be able to raise another person's child as their own. As their own, just to raise another person's child. It's a difficult situation to be in, and I think when I say special kind of person, I mean it takes a person who's it's a good attribute to have in a person. I think it's very difficult. I'd like to say I could do that. I hope that situation doesn't occur in my life because I'm happy with the situation that I'm currently in. But if it did, I'd try my best to raise the other half child as my own. But as you man said, it's a line where you know you're not that child's biological parent. But I think the line may move if that child wants you to then adopt them or become their adopted parent. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a grey area. I was asking the question because I know a few people who've got step parents and I know my own situation, so I was curious and your opinions, because obviously like you guys are the people who discuss. I'm just the guy who presses record.
Sometimes.
On occasion.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
That makes
sometimes that
sense.
happen.
I hear that. But yeah, as long as you can be, like you said, a positive role model, and that's not even just for your own kids, for everyone's.
That's what I'm saying. So I was thinking when Aaron was talking, and I was thinking, for example, like realistically, like it takes a village in it. Like it does take a village, 100%. Like you man, any of your children are out of line, I feel like I will step in, not beat them. I would never beat another man's you, but do you know what I mean? Say I seen Sereno out doing something, I know you wouldn't be happy with. Do you know what I mean? I would say
I'm right, I'm gonna say
Sereno.
something, man. I'm pulling up.
You put it in
100%.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would.
pulling up. Going, what
I
you
would.
doing, man?
Listen.
I pulled Sereno that day when you were telling him to put his shoes on, if you remember. He said, don't do that, you'll mash the back down.
Oh yeah.
And he said to you,
What did he say?
I'll mash you down. I had to keep the straightest face
remember that.
and tell him, that's not good. You can't say that.
To your dad, did it?
Yeah.
And I said, right, put your shoes on and go outside. And then I was laughing.
Yeah,
That's what
It was
we
just
said after.
so
I was like,
much-
yeah, this
it
is
was
what I
so-
have to deal with.
Yeah, but it's funny because you kept a straight face and you said that to Sereno thought, oh,
Yeah.
okay, and then put his trains on and went outside, and that's what I appreciate. And then once he went outside, you
Then you
fell
can
about
laugh at it.
laughing.
Yeah,
you get me?
yeah.
But it's them parents that go,
Oh,
oh,
laugh.
did you hear what they said?
Yeah.
Say it again, Billy.
I hear that.
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
That's
what?
what every time he says some cheeky things. I'm just thinking, rah. This
He's
kid
quick,
actually
so
saying
he's
that,
so
but I'm just like,
secret,
oh. And then just as soon as he's outside of the room, I just start laughing and think, nah, my man's rude, you know. I'm gonna drape him up and stuff like that. But obviously, he hears me say all them things to him. innit?
Exactly, yeah.
So
He's
obviously
just
repeating
picking
back
it up,
in
innit?
Yeah.
And obviously, because he's around older conversations as well, so we're listening to older conversations. And I can imagine with his listening to Olivia and Aisha as well, them two talking.
100%.
You get me?